Hi and welcome to the Chronically online podcast. My name is George and this is
James.
Nice. And this is episode 2. We actually made it through one episode. So that was quite good.
Yeah, we rambled in the first one, but in a good way, folks.
Yeah. We'll ramble it again,
yes.
But just, maybe it'll be better rambling. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
the
worse.
best rambling you've ever heard in your life.
It will be.
It's all the weave.
It will be. Yes,
the weave.
Creation. So what we're going to be doing every single episode is talking about marketing. We are marketing professionals in different ways, and what we're going to be doing is talking about how we are chronically online. We are always going to be discussing memes and how they relate to marketing, really, from like a brand perspective. Discussing marketing topics as well, like more specific marketing, and generally geeky stuff because we're also absolute nerds. So that's how the Chronically Online podcast is going to work.
Yes.
Today, what we got to talk about is the first meme that I've found recently, the I'm just a chill guy meme, because I have no idea where the hell it came from.
Bless up.
But it's like positive.
But it's a gift.
Yeah. Do you know the origin of it?
I have absolutely no idea where the dog comes from. So I think I might know its origins.
Okay,
so
please explain.
The chill guy meme, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure we can throw it up on screen, is just an image of a dog.
Like when you describe it like that.
An animated dog with his hands in his pockets, looking real chill. And it always a particular song in the background, which is almost like typing in chill in a stock library.
Yes.
And that's what you end up pulling out. And it's been used in every single context. It's imagine the I'm just a girl trend. This is the guy version of I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
When you take a massive poo and you leave skid marks, but it's okay because I'm a chill guy.
That's
like
it.
that. It's just anything you can imagine.
It excuses anything.
Yeah, like when you miss your deadline, but you're just a chill guy. Like
I swear it's the same vibe as the Kevin James meme.
It's
the exact same vibe.
I do believe it's a recreation of it.
No way. I honestly said that organically.
Yeah, because I saw a meme today that was just like, every villain has its origin story. So I'm going to put those two next to each other. That's my only working theory thus far. Okay. I'm sure it does come from particular media. For all we knew, it was plucked out from Shutterstock libraries, for all we know. Yep. But I assume someone's drawn it online and it's just picked up steam. And again, it comes from TikTok, which I think is the important thing to point out, is that it's organically grown from there, as most memes do now, as a means of distribution. But it's the best thing since sliced bread. And I've non-stop been sending them to my girlfriend, and they are hilarious.
They are. I love it because it's so inoffensive as well. Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, not that I hate offensive memes. I don't. I love them. But just like there's something about the chill guy meme that's just so harmless. It's just harmless, any situation. It's like
ridiculous, universally applicable. All things that will probably end up being butchered by corporate. Yeah. So if you're watching this, guys, please use with care. Do not kill the meme before it's dead yet.
Yeah. Oh God. Who knows? Well, I want to see a deep fried version as well. I want to see a crazy shitpost version of it.
I've seen kind of evil villain versions, twists, and things. People making like full so they've drawn like angry eyes on him and turned the color of his clothes, and like artists themselves have taken it upon themselves to give life to the character in different ways. But at the end of the day, we're all just chill guys. So what does that matter?
It's Kevin James.
And again, even people who are not familiar with the Kevin James meme, what show is it from?
King of Queens.
King of Queens.
Which I've never seen, but I know the
neither of I think Comedy Central reruns were the only way me and you ever would have seen Kings of Queens, most likely. But it must have been just like a stock shot from like
when you break it down,
episode cover or something, and he's just looking real nonchalant,
it's like there's so much emotion in his face that's just I don't know. That's life.
A picture tells 1,000 words at the end of the day.
He's just a chill guy.
He's just a chill guy, man. Yeah. Like, I'd just slap it on the end of anything. Like, I swear, if I ever do get arrested, but whoa. I'm just a chill guy.
That's it.
And then be like, I understand, and they'll let me go. And that's how that story will work.
That's it. The chill guy meme, it's one of those that I think a lot of brands who have a social media manager who just kind of is aware of memes, they could use it because it's just like I said, it's versatile and it's harmless. I mean, with any time you have a brand play with it, there's the potential of it being a bit cringe. But as long as you've got a social media manager who kind of is aware of it, it's one of those accessible memes. Yeah. It's one of those you can use it for your marketing kind of thing. It's
a two-step thing for me. It's the awareness of a social media manager to know how to use it, and then the self-awareness of a brand to be light-hearted around yourself. Yeah. Because if let's say if I took it from a social media agency point of view and I went, you know, when I'm just trying to get new clients, but I'm a chill guy, like that's immediately cringe because it's not funny. Like,
no, it's not. It's true.
And I think the relatability of it is where the comedy lies. So as long as it's something relatable in and around your brand that you can make light of, that's where the value is. Not whack any applicable sentence to your industry in there, and I'm just a chill guy, because then it will just flop.
Yeah, it kind of needs to highlight something that's kind of ironic in a way, like you're talking about something shit that's happened in your company, and say, oh, it's okay. If it's just something like, oh, I start my day with a coffee because I'm just a chill guy, it's like, no, that wouldn't work.
It hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts to think about. So I doubt this is even going to be a social media manager problem. This is going to be a head of brand or C-suite thing, even if it's so strange that the chill guy would be a C-suite decision. But someone who's not in the know will I'm not sure will blunt it, or will make it non-friendly, or like or people will subconsciously hold themselves back, so they'll think they'll get in trouble for the usage of said meme.
Sure.
And I think that's the thing we have to get away from. Like, allow your social media managers to go crazy. Currys is the example. I think we mentioned it in the first episode. They were actually unleashed, and the guys at Fabric Social did a fantastic job, and they're the guys that run their social most of the time. But it's because they were actually unleashed to use the memes for their intended purposes. And what do you know? Everyone's hailing them as geniuses.
Yeah.
Most social media managers would have done that by now if you'd let them.
Yeah.
So the talent you have under your door is incredible.
Genii.
Genii?
Is that the plural?
Geniuses?
I don't know. Is this a U? S. Genii. I have no idea.
And I just got genius that died.
Yeah, that's it. Was it Fabric Social? Did you say? I've never heard of
Fabric Social. Yeah, so they're the agency that work with Currys that make that happen.
Nice.
I'm not sure if they work on both an execution and strategic basis, but I'm pretty sure that they end up doing most of the legwork for Currys, at least from their organic strategy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the in-house team is actually doing. There's various different ways to do it from a marketing services point of view, but yeah, I can tell that Currys trusted Fabrics.
Yeah.
And they're actually allowed to do it. And then once some of the first ones start to go viral, they've then managed to do most trends that have come along very effectively.
Yeah.
Because they keep coming up on our feed. And I think that's the difference with Currys, is that they didn't just do a kind of one-time wonder style thing. And everyone went, oh, that was a really good campaign. And I think that's, again, the value of social, and why podcasts like us exist, just to keep hitting home that, like, you can keep doing this. It doesn't have to be the one-term campaign activation. You splurge a year's budget on, and that's that. There's the value in constantly doing it the right way. Yep. And I think that my marketing rant over this is supposed to be the memes bit. But yeah, that consistency in the attempt is where it's at.
Yeah, this might be a topic for another episode again, but do you think maybe that the reason Currys trusted this external, new, modern agency is because they were a bit shit in themselves, and they were irrelevant. Yeah, they were irrelevant. Like, they were like, okay, we need to do something, guys. Let's bring in this new guy called Fabric Social and just trust them, because we got no other choice. Maybe.
And I think Fabric were a well-established agency before then. I think, like most agencies who would probably do far more out there campaigns or social activations, they are hampered by a brand's need to cling to corporate. Yeah, and
play with the rules a little bit, but not much.
The more every brand forgets the rules, the happier the earth will be. Yeah. So, and it doesn't mean you have to go into bloody craziness, racism, anti-Semitism. Like, you don't have to go red-pilled to have fun, guys. No. Like, you don't. You can just be normal. I think it's the best way to say it.
Have a laugh.
Just be a human. Be a person, dog. Your brand can be a person, no matter how large or fancy it may be. And I'll say that to the day I die. And it does not matter what type of industry you're in. And in fact, the more official and boring you think you need to be, if you weren't that, you'd win.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges is like being aware of the line, I suppose, because like you said, there's too far of like, okay, no, but this post is that's straight up offensive or something. But there's a play around area. There's a margin. There's a window where it's fun to play around. I had that recently at work, where one of the great things about having this big shared office space where I work is there is a big coffee machine. We recently upgraded the coffee machine, actually. Like, it's this coffee machine. It's like double the size. It's really cool. Yeah. It has all the same like menu selections, but it looks slicker and it's smoother. It's like, I upgraded my phone as well. It's like changing from an old phone to a new phone. That's what we did with the coffee machine.
Nice.
But the problem was, in order to get to that stage, the old machine had to break. And what happened was, this is one coffee machine for like about, there must be like 30 companies in this one building.
Lord, that thing's worked to the bone.
Yeah, it was. And there was like other little kitchenettes that do kettles, but this was a coffee machine. Really good stuff. It broke. So you had a lot of companies like turning up at the kitchen going, oh, okay, it's broken again. And then they come out the next day, oh, it's still broken.
Yeah.
Like this. It got to a stage when the reception people, the I'm not going to say their name, but the reception people, they were wonderful. I love them so much. They put up a notice that said, maintenance are aware, coffee machine broken. Like that was pretty much it. Like coffee machine faulty, maintenance are aware. Basically trying to tell everybody,
it's okay. We know it exists.
Yeah, we know it exists. Yeah. Don't worry. Like, yeah, we're working on it. The problem is that that sign stayed up with no progress for like about 3 weeks. Just like every day, it was just this
That's
sign.
a long time with no coffee, man.
Yeah, and I think they were working on it. We got a new machine, so that's all good.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got an idea. As the marketing person at my company, I thought, okay, something that will get engagement with everyone in this building is if I were to acknowledge it on social media in some way. And I thought of an idea to just do a very basic, just a photo, just like click photo of the coffee machine and the sign. And with a caption I thought could be something like day 4 of maintenance being aware. Same photo the next day. Day 5, literally just the exact same photo, but maybe like a different angle. Or like when it's day 6, I'll just be in the front like this or something. I don't know. And every day it becomes a campaign. And I know that anyone in that building who saw that post would click it. They'd go, damn right. They go, oh, this is hilarious or whatever. I knew it would. Didn't do it in the end because I didn't want to be an asshole. And I knew that some people might look at that and go, oh, you're being a bit harsh to the receptionist guys. You know what I mean? And obviously it's not harsh, but it was just an idea that I didn't go through. My directors kind of liked the idea, but I didn't want to do it because it might have felt like a bit of a piss take. But I feel like that was like approaching the line of taking the piss, good like human marketing, and I knew it would have got engagement from like the whole building. And
yeah, I mean that's as close as you can get to in real life the clip farming, really, isn't it? It's like how can I rile up everyone in this building on a daily basis? But that goes back to something we were talking about last episode, which is how often you have to repeat yourself online. And getting used to that kind of thing, like. The thought of some brands posting the same coffee machine every day, I know I've talked to some people that would think that's blasphemous. They're like, oh, if I post more than twice a week, everyone's going to get mad at me.
Sure.
Just like, mother, do you think everyone sees what you post? They don't. They don't at all. Like, it was someone, if you actually did that, let's say you could do that for 2 weeks straight, someone's probably only seen that coffee machine twice. Unless they've liked and commented on every one they've seen, in which case they'll then see more. So it's algorithmic preference often, and you can never quite tell what the indicators are for you to get those things in your feed. But yeah, post more than you think you have to, folks, and double down on those ideas. I would be the risk taker in that sense. I probably would have done it.
That's why you're the bold entrepreneur. And
the thing is, you know the receptionist and I don't.
That's it.
And all the maintenance team. And there's one people you don't want to piss off is your receptionist, lunch ladies, and maintenance team because they look after you. So probably the wise choice. But if this was a disconnected thing that you didn't know anyone personally for, screw it. Go for it.
It would have been, as from a marketing point of view, it would have been part of an ongoing marketing routine. It wouldn't have been like that's literally all we post 3 weeks. It would be like we'll post one of those, then more kind of value-based explainer videos about our service, what we offer, like good marketing. But then every other day I'd post another one of these silly jokey,
just a content strike until the coffee's back.
Yeah. That's it. Like we're refusing to post good content. We're just gonna keep posting this stupid photo thing.
Kept the people waiting for years. They'll never get their advice again. I suppose that's one thing we should probably do, just in the spirit of repeating ourselves, is let's remind the folks what we even do, because we work in marketing. But what is it that you do, good sir?
Okay, me. I just turn up and I just look pretty, and people.
He's just a chill guy.
Yeah, I'm just a chill guy. So what I do is I have quite a bit of experience of going for a few different content-based marketing responsibilities. So right now I am the full marketing person for a recruiter, and I'm looking at offering the value that we do to our clients, our candidates, and saying, here's basically, we're much more human from a marketing perspective than our competitors. My history is, like I said, content based. It's lots of, okay, how can we make stuff? How can I create content, make stuff for marketing that people will look at on their phone and go, okay, I'm pausing this. Let me watch this because this one stands out. So my history has been a bit of high-end luxury marketing, a bit of social media marketing with James, a bit of charity marketing as well, charity pieces where it's these little campaigns, maybe 3-minute short films, posters, events. So it's a bit of a spread of marketing, all starting with a very kind of hands-on TV history as well. So that's how I started at uni. That's why I've always been quite a content-based marketer. It's that's where my strength lies. And yeah, that's pretty much a very, very, very quick look at my history in marketing. What about you, James?
Well, I'm actually going to ask a question about your stuff before I jump on the mic, because I've got a fairly tight, easy pitch for my stuff.
Okay.
I want some war stories from when you were hands-on to making the more TV stuff.
Okay.
Or just like when you're introducing content to a client for the first time, you know, what's one of those go-to things where you're like, actually, that had a really positive impact? Or if it's a piece of advice for someone that hasn't touched any kind of camera stuff before, videos just become so much more important than ever. Where does your brain take you in regards to actually actively helping people, drawing from your past?
Yeah, good question. Well, straight away you said war stories. Okay, so there's one that straight away I thought of then. I try not to get stressed nowadays because I think life's too short and I've learned to deal with like stress.
Damn right, because we're just chill guys.
That's right.
Reference 3.
Yeah. But yeah, no, luckily my life's pretty chill, seriously. Anyway, I think back to this one most stressful moment that I've had in TV. And I wasn't working in TV for a long time. But I had this one moment where I was doing some work for ITV and I was doing the editing for ITV News. Not the entirety of ITV News, but I was editing these little 3-minute films.
Yeah, your segment,
Yeah, so when it has, you know, ITV for your local area, if anyone actually watches this stuff who's listening to this podcast.
ITV South Today.
Yeah. Fred Dinage, represent. Yeah, they'll have these little kind of like regional stories where they say, oh, we're talking with Johnny who works at a local school, and there's plays like 3-minute video. I was editing those pieces. And they're very newsy, very kind of traditional, very, you know, like traditional broadcasty style. Anyway, we did one at Bestival with this awesome young person, James. I think he was James L. I've forgotten his name. It sounds terrible. But basically, he was amazing. He was a rapper in a wheelchair, and he had a quite strong disability, but he performed these amazing hip hop performances at Bestival. Love James. And we're filming him, filming a set, filming an interview with him as well. That day, we had to get that 3-minute piece on ITV News that day. So we filmed it at Bestival, where I had to get like the 3 a.m. ferry or something from Southampton to Bestival on the Isle of Wight.
Jesus.
Me and my producer and all of the crew. It wasn't just us two. A bunch of people. Because like the whole project was a lot of other things happening. Like we filmed Rob the Bank as well. It was like a big thing. I wasn't doing that. I was doing James's rap stuff. But anyway, me and my producer, we then sat down at the ITV editing studio, or this little editing area that ITV hired for us on the Isle of Wight. And we were like knackered because we'd been 3 a.m. filming Bestival and got on the ferry. We finished it. We were watching the internet just load the video, going sending to ITV, and it was going like 1%, 1%. And we were like, this is going to be broadcast live on TV in about 1 hour. And we literally can't do anything.
I'm nervous.
Yeah. And me and a producer were just sat there like, we're just watching the loading screen. We can't actually do anything to help this. It's just the internet in this building. It's just...
Just dreadful.
Yeah.
When was this, by the way?
That must have been 6 years ago-ish, maybe 8 years ago.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, something like 8 years ago. I was quite young working on this ITV stuff, but yeah, it was. We got there. It was broadcast live on TV, but like it was just crazy because me and my producer Paul, we literally finished everything. We did everything we could. It was just the internet watching it like that for ages.
Wow, it must have been
horrible.
It must have sucked. But I think main takeaways and lessons from that
Yeah.
Same day turnarounds for video content, impossible.
Yeah.
It's not
that's
done.
TV. That's how it works.
That's TV. And then you have to get up at 3 a.m. for same day turnaround, so it's just not happening. But so fair play, you managed to get that done.
Yeah.
How many people did you have to coordinate for that?
I can't remember. Like, I was just the editor back then, so this the producer dealt with the organizational stuff. That was a war story from my time in TV, as you say.
Yeah, that stressed me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's why
I'm not a very chill guy anymore after that.
Oh no.
4.
So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work away from TV.
Yeah.
One of the reasons. There's many. But
Yeah. Plus, it's a dying medium.
yeah, that's another reason.
It's another reason. Shade.
Not fully dying. But I get what you mean, yeah.
Almost there. I'll kill it off personally. Hence what I do. And then I run a social media marketing agency. So I every day strive to help businesses post more like content creators online. And I actively help many different businesses, both B2B, public sector, weirdly enough, and education also we end up specializing in. And often it's just getting them to understand trends better, focus on original content, which has been probably my main driver for as long as I can remember, because you can do extremely well, like brands like Currys have, just focusing on original content, on viral content, sorry. But then if you don't have an original base, something for people to care about, some substance underneath, it then becomes very tough for anyone to get attached to you, especially if you're not a retail household name. You need that little extra. You need to think like a content creator, because there's kids in their bedrooms kicking your ass for free, and you're spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And for what? For you to get less results than the kid? No, you can change how you operate. You can make social media extremely useful, even if you're in the most bizarre of industries. And that's what I end up doing on a daily basis. Plenty of war stories there, but we can save those for another episode, because otherwise it's going to get long.
I imagine that would be a good episode, actually, to just
me
tell
belly
stories.
aching for 2 hours.
Yeah. Just tell, like, here's some random stories we've had in the world of marketing. No, that'd be cool. That's interesting. And yeah, you said you found that authenticity underneath it all is what drives the success of your company, of course.
Yeah. And I talked about this on another podcast the other day, that authenticity has just been like the world's biggest buzzword for a long time, especially particularly on LinkedIn, to be honest. And what actually drills down to what authenticity means from a brand point of view is difficult. It's easier to define from a person, because a person can just act like how they not usually act, with some tweaks here and there, and then that can be authentic online. For brands, it can be a slightly different equation depending on what you do. But for my favorite example now is what happened with the US election. That's an example of how authenticity wins over common sense, because they felt like they knew Donald Trump better than they knew Kamala Harris. Yeah. And then that in itself should be your biggest point of proof. Trust for brands and politicians is at an all-time low. It's not like you were very trusted before, but now you're not trusted at all in the slightest. And you have to fight against that. If you keep doing the same thing, you will get nowhere. And having something to focus on, whether it's a podcast, because everyone goes, but everyone's got a podcast. I don't care if everyone's got a podcast. At least you have a voice if you have a podcast. At least you have some way to constantly talk about your point of view, and then people who share that view can gravitate to you. It can be a vlog. It can be something, but something that is you, your company. It can help so much with talent retention and just new sales and everything. But if it's not done over a consistent basis, and it's not, you don't actually put the work in, people will not recognize it. You cannot insta-buy your way into it. You cannot performance market your way into trust and authenticity. And that's what brands miss. Because I think they understand, a lot of them understand the legwork that would be involved and don't want to undertake it. So my whole existence is challenging that preconception and trying to get senior leaders to understand that concept. And they probably do. Didn't also alleviate fears and provide services to actually help them get to that point, because it is actually an extremely difficult endeavor to do, very resource intensive, and usually they have underinvested marketing teams usually. That's my thing. That's my jam.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It works. Yes.
Yes.
I'm loving hearing all the new Shogun updates. So very, very clear that it works. So marketing is all good to talk about because that's our job, but let's talk about stuff that's not our job.
Yes,
let's talk about some weird geeky things. So geeky thing to me, I'm a massive wrestling fan. And WWE is going to be coming to Netflix in January.
So big.
I cannot wait for that. Because we already pay for Netflix. I already pay for Netflix. And I haven't been able to watch WWE in ages because they have their own little network thing and it's on Sky Sports or BT Sport, whatever it is. I don't want to pay for that. And I also don't want to pirate it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm very
support the
excited.
mediums, folks.
Yeah.
But it's such an interesting pivot. I think timeline wise, Netflix, I'm sure, has been planning this for a while. But I think it's kind of started from that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight.
Yeah, I think that was a test of the live system. Yeah.
Which was a bit spotty here and there, according to the memes. I didn't watch it because I'm not into Jake Paul beating up old people. But in that sense, I think Netflix is going to have a lot of success pivoting into that because it's that convenience factor is absolutely huge. That's where Netflix has always won, pivoting into convenience, and it's bringing one hell of an audience with it with WWE because I've always struggled to watch it. WWE has always been something that either maybe your dad watched it as a kid, so he would then pay for the Sky, but if he didn't, it's really hard to watch it, and you might be able to catch like one of the reruns I used to do on Sky One to recap Monday Night Raw, but then they'd always skip some bits,
I remember that.
and you just be all the scraps you try and get at WWE to try and watch it, and actually stay a fan is actually quite hard. But everyone seems to have a Netflix account somehow, some way, so watching wrestling regularly will be so much easier from now on. So it's a genius idea. Although it's so weird coming out right after the Vince McMahon stuff.
Yeah, it's very connected because one of the reasons that WWE is doing this big change is the same reason they're doing a lot of other changes, and that is Vince has left.
Pivoting away from that madness.
Vince has left, and Triple H is now the head of creative in real life. Yeah. So he is actually the head of creative in real life, and that creative, that means 1,000 different things, but it basically means that he's in charge of things like, okay, are we going to go to Netflix or not? And the running of the show, how fun is the show? It's a lot of reason why a lot of people say that WWE is actually really good now. And I agree. It was
the game
terrible
saved it
for years.
for sure.
Yeah, it was so boring for years. It was so, you can tell it was micromanaged, overly scripted. Whereas now the wrestlers got a lot more freedom to just make up their own dialogue. They can just say things. It's just more fun now. And I think that's part 100%. Of Triple H. Same reason why it's going to Netflix. Yeah, very excited. Did you watch? Have you been watching any wrestling at all over the past couple of years?
I keep up with it here and there. I think we were watching one of the. I think it was Crown Jewel. Ended up watching the other day as a pay per view.
Oh yeah.
That was really interesting just to see how they create custom events for the. Is it UAE that area is classed as? Yeah. And you see the Saudi princes come on afterwards and we'll jump on. But no, I think just from a creative direction point of view. Like wrestling has gotten a lot better. I see a lot more of it in general. It felt like from our childhood, especially mine, it was like all the way up there, and then suddenly it dropped off a massive cliff, and now it's just back in prominence again. So
that's what everyone says.
You love to see it, you really do, because I thought it was just going to be we would always be nostalgic for our period. The Attitude Era, and just after that would have been my stuff. For anyone who's familiar, I'm not knowledgeable enough to explain the differences in the eras, but actually it's really good now still.
Yeah, that was called the Ruthless Aggression.
Ruthless Aggression.
I know what you mean. Yeah, for so long it was just, it's not the Attitude Era anymore, so I'm not going to watch. And I agree, because it did turn shit. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a lot better.
Yeah, I think it's because they turn down the violence a lot. And it's not like we're crazed violent people or anything, but I think
we're just chill guys.
We're just chill guys. 5. It just gave that edge, like just that little bit that just makes you go, hold on a minute. Was that supposed to happen? And I think those moments.
Oh God, there's blood.
In those moments when that does happen, that's when it's like, that's when you really get into gear and go, oh shit, I don't think that was supposed to happen. But that's always been the glory of it, really. When you suspend your disbelief, the world's longest going theatre performance, I think, is often referred to as, and I love it.
Yeah, and widespread. Like it's not just WWE; it's everywhere.
Shakespeare, eat your heart out, mate. Tell you,
yeah.
No chance you're beating that.
Yeah.
I wonder what the viewership would if you added it all up over the years. That number's redonkulous.
And all the live shows. Like every wrestling story is all connected.
It must be in the trillions, you reckon?
Yeah, God knows. God knows how many eyeballs has watched it. Yeah. It's fascinating.
Most
but yeah, don't get me started talking about wrestling because I've lost.
Whole other special. War Story special. WWE special will do.
A wrestling special. Any company, yeah. No, that's cool. Well, that is a good place to close this episode, I think. We've discussed the chill guy meme, because we're just chill guys, and
6.
the marketing benefits of like finding that banter line with your brand as well. Like I had the coffee machine, whether I should have done it or not, I don't know, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And also the geeky stuff of WWE coming to Netflix in January. So yeah, if you liked what we were discussing and you want to hear more memes, marketing stuff, and geeky things, then please listen to the next episode and subscribe, whatever platform we put this on.
Most of them, most likely.
Most of them, probably all of them. Yeah. So that was good. That was amazing. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. My name is George, and this was
James.
And this was the Chronically Online podcast. See you next time.
See you later.